Nah. And we've made a few changes around here. We've got a new start, which is quite appropriate because spring is just 9 days away. So we will be having a new start very, very soon. But the cool thing is this fence. I love it. This has been my big project and it's taken way longer than I'd like. But it is a big project. And we didn't have any idea what we were doing. Oh my gosh. So it's not bad considering we've been learning as we go. The techniques have been a little bit, shall we say, unorthodox, and anyone who's an actual builder or has technical know-how would be mortified to see how we cobbled together this fence. But we did it. So there's a few iffies and butties, but it still needs work. I have to chop down these post bits all the way around, and we need a new latch because at the moment it's just a piece of wood. But the main reason I built this cool fence is an elaborate ruse to hide my compost system. I've done it. I have built a 3-bin compost system. It's maybe as wonderfully wonky as my garden, but it's gonna be so cool. Normally I've left my compost in a pile. I've just dumped it because I knew I should do it all properly, but I just didn't get the time. And so this time I've made the coolest compost bin I've ever seen. Well, I'm a bit biased. So come and check it out. Let me show you. It's so cool. I just need to show you. Come and see. So it goes all the way along here. Now it's beside the shed. Now I thought what would be really cool here on the side of the shed where no one can see, I'm going to make some kind of rack system to hang the bamboo poles when I'm not using them, and then they're out of the way, which is really cool, but I've got to do that yet, so it's on the list. And the other thing as well is the space between here was wide enough for the lawnmower to do a couple of sweeps, because I wouldn't want to have a path through here that just was so overgrown and I couldn't weed it. So that's the plan. The ground is still a little bit rough, but I've tidied up behind here. There was a whole lot. This is where I stacked my bamboo poles before. It was just a bit of a mess. And the ground needs there's all my bamboo poles over there. The ground needs leveling because it's not really been cared for round the back of the shed. And that's my chicken poo. Every time we clean the chicken coop, we put the poo in there. So I said last video I collect poo. So we put it in there and then it just like soaks in the water, and so then when I use it, it's well rotted. It's not as harsh as straight chicken poo. And so this is my compost bin. It's not quite finished because the edge needs leveling and we ran out of wood to do the last load of planks. You can see, because we didn't know what we were doing, the first one is actually a lot wider than the other two, and even those, I was kind of hoping for boards that were interchangeable, but it didn't work out that way. But that's okay, because this is one massive size to put my compost into. And the side of it is all, there's pickets on each end, and the bit that drops the wood down in between, if you can see down there, it's been finished with a picket. This bit will get cut off so it's all nice and flush. I've put chicken wire over the back on the sides to stop the majority of the compost falling through, so there's airflow, and also stops it leaning against the picket and rotting the wood. And then of course here on the side here you can see it's double-sided, so a lot of good airflow. And the boards are, we can take them off if we need them. They're lovely pickets. It's so cool. I just love it. So that is my project that I have been working on for months and months and months and months, and it's taken way longer than I thought. And so here it is, my 3-bin compost system, and I love it. We can't go any further back this way because there's the boundary there, and also this is access for tractors. So I'm quite happy to put a fence a fence here, and it looks cool, and you can see it from the road as well, because there's the road just running through here, and so you're driving up and it just looks really cool. Although once these willows come out on leaf, it'll be a bit hidden. So it's pretty cool. So my space has been defined somewhat. The problem is, this is where I had my Cape gooseberries, Jerusalem artichokes, yams, and what else did I have there? There were 4 things: yams, Cape gooseberry, Jerusalem artichoke, and something else. They're the permanent ones, the ones that you don't want to move. You want to keep them there month after month, year after year, because they just come back as a weed if you don't. What was in that other bed? But anyway, they don't fit anymore, so I'm going to have to rejig it and try and find some space to put those 4 permanent beds either back here or somewhere else. I'm not sure. And of course, this is my old compost heap. So all we were doing was just dumping everything here. But with the new one, I want to be more careful with, like, not putting pernicious weeds in there, the ones that will grow back. So I think for the weeds that have seeds in them, or they have roots that will come back, I'm going to have a bucket of water, a barrel of water beside the compost system. And so as I'm putting things in, if it looks in any way dodgy, then I'll put it in the bucket of water to rot down, or a black sack that I can tie off and leave to rot. Either way, I'll do something. But so I'm going to take this compost system quite seriously. So in the first season, I'll fill up this compost bin, and the other 2 will remain empty, and then I'll leave it at the end of the season and start filling up the next one. And so that one will be filling up, and that one will be maturing. And then in the 3rd season, I'll start filling up the last one, which will be filling up, and then the middle one will be maturing, and the other one will be, the first one will be ready. And so I'll always have one ready, one maturing, and one filling up. I'm going to use just the slow, lazy, cold composting system, because once it gets going, there'll be plenty of time, rather than trying to race ahead with hot systems. And to be honest, I can't be bothered turning compost. It's not really, I've got too much other things to do. What I will do though is, I'll keep a close eye on it. But I tend to buy in a lot of compost at the beginning of the season. So hopefully, eventually we won't need to do that, and it'll save us a fortune. So fingers crossed, it'll all work well. Just one other update I wanted to show you here in the greenhouse. The peas that had been bird pecked seem to be bouncing back, so we'll be able to plant them out. It was good just to give them an extra bit of love, rather than let them fend for themselves outside. I'm not sure they would have survived as well outside. And the ones we planted the other day are actually starting to come up. I love this time of year. Although I'm not loving having to wash all these pots. Oh my goodness, it's going to take forever. So what did you think? I think it's really cool, but then I'm incredibly biased. And I just absolutely love what it's going to do to transform my gardening experience, because to be honest, buying in compost can get a little bit expensive, especially when your garden is as big as mine. Which is, I guess, why Hubby the Young Gardener was very, very keen to help me build this. So between the 2 of us, we figured it out. Now, if you want to check out exactly the ins and outs of how we went about building it, I'm going to do a blog about it. So check out gardeningkiwi.wordpress.com, and that should give you a few ideas as to the madness that went behind the construction of the compost system and fence. We don't do things properly. We just give it a go. So thanks once again for coming along. There's only 9 days till spring, like I said earlier. So next time you come, there will be 2 days to spring, and I'll be just so super excited. Having said that, today's a gorgeous day. It's almost warm. strangely, and there's just this feeling in the air. There's been a shift. It doesn't have that same chill factor that winter has. It's, dare I say it, mild? And so it's perfect to spend time in the garden. So I'm going to take the rest of the day and just get stuck in and do some digging and some weeding and just, oh, it's so exciting. So come again soon. It'll be fab. Thanks for watching. Take care. Bye.